Good evening, happy Victory Sunday to you, Dbacks fans. Welcome on into another exciting episode of Dbacks Dispatch. As the entire trio here, Brandon on your right, Gabe on your left, and myself, Brett in the middle, can all be here to discuss a very, very exciting series that ended with a D-backs win overall in the series. The D-backs win the final game, and just a lot of fun and a lot of good stuff to talk about. But before we dive on in there, again, we want to welcome you guys on in here, whether it's your first time in here or if this is you are an OG in here. I know we got some OGs in here, Disruptive and Elizabeth. We appreciate you guys tuning on in as well. If this is your first time, if you guys could like, comment, subscribe, it does help immensely on the YouTube side. If you guys are listening to us on the Apples or Spotify, whatever you're finding your podcasts. Make sure you guys leave us a review on there as well, and download those. Follow us on there as well, so you guys know if you'd like to listen to us there. Make sure you guys have that so you get notified whenever we have a new podcast pop up on there. As we have another OG in here, Corbin Barrels jumping in here. Always a pleasure to see you here, my fellows, Red Sox Nation as well. Johnny Snakes, love to see all the peeps jumping in here. Also, follow us on all socials. I know a bunch of you guys are, but if you aren't already following us on socials, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, especially on Twitter, like Gabe's popping off during games, putting out a bunch of funny memes, a bunch of great tweets in general. So make sure you guys follow us on Twitter. And then also go to our Discord. It's free. Should be pinned everywhere in the description here, description on Apple, Spotify, one of our pinned tweets on Twitter and all that. So it's free. You don't got to pay a single cent to join. And then finally, jump on in to the AZ Snakebit community. It's azsnakebit.com. Make an account over there, just like our Discord. It's free. A lot of great writers, a lot of great discussions. Pretty much any kind of written pieces that would fit anybody, especially this one that our man Josh put out. I bought the card. I have the Gonzo card with the rubber rat up there above his jersey in the corner. So if you guys want some more lore and some more history on good old prankster Gonzo, make sure you check out his article and all the other great stuff over there as well. No sound for. Is it anybody else having sound?
We have sound. I'm watching the stream right now. We have sound.
Okay, so then maybe there's something on your end, Red Sox Nation, but yeah, as I said, we're gonna kind of have a lot of fun to discuss here. Before we dive in on any of these games, really quick, gentlemen, how's your weekend? How's your guys', I guess, break from the old 9 to 5 grind? How'd you guys enjoy your weekend watching some D-backs ball?
I mean, at least for me, it was all right. I do hate these early games. Like they end, and you're kind of just like, now what? Like I don't have kids like you, Brett, so I can't really fill in my time, with my family in the same way. So the whole time, just after yesterday, once the game ended, it's literally like that meme from Finding Nemo where they're like in the water just floating. Like, now what? Like I really don't know what to do. But today I went to a friend's house and was there for a bit, having lunch, dinner, whatever you call it. But yeah, pretty decent weekend overall. Like the weather has been pretty nice as well, so nice change of pace from 105. So hopefully, when the D-backs come into town against Toronto, they can have the roof open, and it's going to be, nice weather.
Yeah, so the weather has been fantastic. And speaking of food, obviously not an ad or no free ads and all that, but if you're ever in Midtown, check out Kura Sushi, revolving sushi place, absolutely delicious. Me and my wife and our son went there Friday, and then we went there today with my brother and his wife. And goddamn, it's so good, man, so good. Shout out if you like bluefin tuna and all that, just any sushi in general, check it out. Highly recommend it. 10 out of 10. But Brandon, what about you, my friend? How was your weekend? How did you enjoy watching some D-backs balls? You got a little bit of a break from your good old 9 to 5.
Well, I have a part-time job that I do, so I didn't get a break from that. But it was fine. It made the weekend better with a series win. It always improves my mood. Like I said at the beginning of the season, this team is going to control my mental state. So when things go well, I am in a good mood. When things don't go well, I am I'm just not in a good mood. Talking about the times of the games, we said on this podcast before, I'm also a Padres fan. So when they don't have to play at the same time, it's nice to watch both. Because when they're both playing, obviously D-backs will always get the priority. Every single time. So I try to watch all of their games too. So I'll go back and I'll rewatch them like after the D-backs game. So that was nice because their games on every single day were at a different time. So by the time the D-backs were over...
Two walk-offs out of the 3 for them?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's the Rockies though.
Hey, the Rockies aren't that bad, man. The Rockies are not the Rockies they were the last couple years. They're a tougher team than they were.
They are ahead of schedule because they didn't get their 6th win till like May 1st last year, and they're 6-10 now.
So, and they got their first sweep in like a year and a half. So the Rockies are definitely not the Rockies that they were the last couple of years. But yeah, I'm kind of on the other side. I like games that are early. I know, like you said, Gabe. It's it's easy for me to just spend the rest of my time hanging out with my wife and our son. But I prefer games early. I love especially getting able to wake up and like have my breakfast, have some coffee, watch the D-backs game, and then get to go about the rest of my day. It sucks when they lose because then the rest of my day I'm like, God damn it, like Saturday. But I kind of enjoy a little bit of an early game, unless it's like a day like today when I was working, so I was actually live while the game was going on, which kind of
I
sucked.
mean, on the weekends, I don't necessarily mind because it's like, breakfast with the D-backs sort of thing. So I don't necessarily mind on the weekends.
Like the weekdays
But the
sucks.
weekdays, because like I get home at before 3, um, and I like taking a nap after work, and because I'm I can take like an hour or two nap and still be, able to be up for like dinner and the rest of my day. Because if I wake up at 5 p.m., then that means I have the next 5 hours to do whatever I want still. And with the D-backs playing early, I can't even nap. Like the game started at 3, so I'm literally just come home. I lay down for 20, 30 minutes, and then I have to get back up and watch the game. Which I'm not complaining about watching the game,
The
but I'm
same
like,
theme the next 3 days, by the way.
that's why I'm like, I hate these coast trips. Coming home, like I literally just like take the dog out to the bathroom and then just kind of just play with her a little bit. Then it's like, all right, well, I guess I have to stay up now. And then, by the time the game finishes, it's like 6 something. And at that point, I'm like, well, I can't nap anymore. So I'm
Yeah.
just gonna be sleepy the rest of the afternoon until 10 when I can go back to bed.
Yeah, the nap method before games definitely sounds clutch, especially when we have those. Whether it's the Suns game starting at 8 o'clock or whether it's the D-backs playing on the like in California against like the Dodgers or the Padres, those like 7-10 games. I'm like, good lord,
Yeah,
thank
like
God
I'm
for
just
the
happy
pitch
I
clock.
wasn't like the what was it, like a week ago when the Yankees were playing in Seattle. There, I would have lost my mind if I was a Yankees fan because
Yeah,
those games are at 7. So I'm like, it was already 10
10
p.m. by the
o'clock
time of the game.
Eastern, and if that game goes
This
any
is
longer than like
why
3 hours,
West
yeah,
Coast is best coast for sports watching, in my opinion.
fully agree,
Like,
fully agree.
latest you'll have is like an 8 o'clock game for like
Yeah.
anything.
And like, yeah, and I can stay up a little bit later to watch a game, but I cannot be an East Coaster. Like I know Elizabeth is an East Coaster watching. Oh shit, Corbin Barrels came back to Discord. Let's go. Heck yeah, I'd love to have you back in there, Corbin Barrels. I
Yeah.
know Elizabeth, I believe, is because I think Elizabeth lives in New York. So I know that she's gone to some of the D-backs games and all that. There in New York, and I know that can be tough on her, especially watching these West Coast games where it's like, dude, holy shit, watching a game at like 10 o'clock at night up until 1 in the morning, depending on how late these games go, has got to be the absolute worst for anybody, especially if you work like a regular work schedule. So, yeah, say definitely enjoy the more of the West Coast games, but I'm never upset about having a little bit of a morning game. But our man Scott Mack joining in saying, "Alrighty, boys," kind of teeing it on and getting us ready to dive into the discussion here, ladies and gentlemen. As obviously, game one on Friday didn't start off. It was looking like it was going to be one of those. I know there's a lot of talk about the D-backs kind of struggling in Citi Field ever since the construction of that ballpark. It's just not a place where they win. Thankfully, they won that series. And then I always kind of lump in Philadelphia, pretty much any NL East ball club. I feel like we always struggle in those ballparks. Washington, Philly, Atlanta, New York, like it really doesn't matter. But in this one, didn't go off to a hot start as Soroka did get rocked for 4 runs in the first inning there before recording a single out, but he did settle in after giving up his first run as a D-back. Went 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 walks, and 10 strikeouts. So a really, really impressive way to settle into that game, and especially go past 5 innings with all those strikeouts against a really potent Phillies offense, so a really potent lineup, I should say. So it was really nice to see. The D-backs, on the other hand, were shut down by Luzardo. It was basically a complete opposite. The Jesus Lizard had the D-backs scoreless and I think hitless through 4 innings before Jose Fernandez had their first hit in the 5th inning, and then it kind of just all started from there with the big rally. For Fernandez single started off. Couple walks, a couple base hits. Set it for Cattell with the 2 RBI double. Vargas Cattell with the 2 RBI knock. Vargas an RBI knock, and then James McCann with the super clutch go ahead 2 run double there against the Phillies reliever there. Really, really put the D-backs in front. And again, if it was last year, I think all of us have been like, all right, cool, 1 run lead. Can't wait to see it blow it. man, this bullpen is much, much different than they were last year, which we'll have some more discussions on them throughout the show here. Unfortunately, it wasn't all great news there in Game 1 as Gabriel Moreno was removed. That's the reason why James McCann even came up with a runners in scoring position opportunity in the middle of the game, as Gabby Moreno was removed with a lower back issue there. And I think the fourth inning, after throwing out a runner, placed on the 10-day DL the day afterwards, and thankfully they're not expected to be serious. But a little more on Gabby here in a second. And as previously mentioned, the bullpen was locked down in this game. Johnny Lasagna struck out, I think, every batter that he faced, or all of his outs were strikeouts. Juan Murillo, again, all strikeouts for all of his outs, and then Paul Sewald with more on Paul Sewald here later tonight as well. But did get a cleanish ninth inning with no runs allowed, even though there was a little bit of a scare there against Carl Crawford's son. But 3 1/3 innings shutdown against the Phillies offense, leading to the D-backs 5-4 win to open up the series on Friday, was definitely something that I was very, very welcome to, and a great way to kick off the weekend. So my question to you, gentlemen, everyone else in the chat as well, obviously the win and all that, but I think the thing that kind of stood out to me the most here in this one, just because it's been an issue pretty much ever since we traded for him, is Gabby Moreno missing a little bit of time. I know, thankfully, it's not one that's expected to be a big issue, even as Torey Lovullo said that they're hoping that after the 10-day stint on the IL, they can get him back. There's no structural damage, but this is another soft tissue issue. I know he had the groin issue for a little while there. I know last year, I don't put that on him at all. I mean, that was the MLB kind of messed up continuing that game and letting pitchers throw in a drenched environment. But another soft tissue injury for Gabby Moreno that does have him miss at least 10 games here, which is very unfortunate because we all know when he is healthy, he is one of the best catchers in the game defensively, and when he's swinging the bat, it's really well. But that's just the big if, and the big problem is when he's actually staying healthy. So seeing this, do you think that it's time to be concerned with Gabby now that this seems to be a trending issue every single year?
Yes and no. I feel like this is just, for the most part, it's just kind of the way things work for catchers. Like if you look around the league, a lot of them don't play over 140 games just because, it is very taxing. And if the ones who do play, 140 plus games aren't necessarily great offensively, especially the last few years, like someone like Adley Rutschman, he was a guy who was playing 160 and he's just had massive regression. It's just really hard to play that much and put that much wear and tear in your body until, it finally gives way. He did come in leaner this off season. Like Scott Mack is mentioning Remuto. Like there's some guys who are always going to be the exception to the rule, like him or Joe Mauer. Like they're just guys who are durable in a way that are kind of unprecedented. And even Joe Mauer, he had to be moved to first base as well. So Gabby is still under 30 years old. He's 26, if not 27. But if these injuries continue, I mean, could it be a case where the Diamondbacks decide to move him to first base to where he's not getting banged up as much, he's not doing as much, wear and tear in his body? Because, I mean, sometimes it's just the position you play, like, having to move Tatis out to the outfield because he couldn't stay healthy at short. Like, sometimes guys just can't fully last in a specific position. So, I know the D-backs are going to miss him if they have to move into, first base or something. But I think that's maybe an option that to start exploring, because if this is going to be a recurring issue, again, if it seems to be like a 10-day thing at most, and, if at the end of the season, this is all he misses, then I don't think it should be a big deal. And even then, last year, the only issue he had was when they broke his hand, and then they made him play through that broken hand as well. So for the most part, he had been healthy other than that. So, I'm curious to see after this, if he has another injury again this season, that do you think it's maybe time to maybe figure out another position for him, or maybe spend more time DHing or something?
Yes, I definitely think it's definitely something to be concerned with. The first base move, even JDX in the comments saying he doesn't profile as a first baseman, not enough slugs, so no, he will still catch. Which again, if I do see what Gabe is saying, that if it keeps him on the field and healthy playing first base, I can see it. But just we would lose so much value behind the plate. Like the framing maybe doesn't call as good of a game. I know it's been talked about how even when he's catching for Zach Gallen, we see Zach Gallen, some of these pitchers shaking his signs off a little bit more. But we know what he can do when it comes to shutting down the run game. I mean, the dude is a great defensive catcher, and I think we would definitely lose a lot there, and especially with the emergence of Jose Fernandez, who I know he was more of a shortstop and third baseman, but if he can end up slotting in as our first baseman going forward, I definitely still think that Gabby would be still more suited behind the dish, but I definitely can see your thought process where you're coming from,
Yeah,
and don't
yeah,
necessarily
that,
hate
and
the idea.
then and I'm mostly meaning after 30, because right now he's only
Yeah.
26. So if he's with them 4 or 5 more years, at once he reaches his early 30s, I think that's when this team can actually look for him moving to first base. If he continues to have these injury issues.
Yeah, say just get him in contact with Yadier Molina and see whatever the fuck Yadi's training program was, because I feel like Yadier Molina, even into his like mid 30s and all that before he officially retired, he never missed much time and he was still locked down defensively. So just get him on what training regime it is. Maybe he needs to get on the three banana no cramp kind of thing there, like we know Merrill Kelly needs to be on. But either way, definitely something to be a little bit worried about. But you kind of alluded to, if it's just a 10-day thing and we get to the end of the season and this is all he's missed, I don't think it's as big of an issue. But it is unfortunate that this is going to be yet what, like the third year in a row, fourth year in a row where he is going to be missing at least a few games here and there because of some soft tissue injuries. But Brandon, going on to you, my friend here, seeing what Gabby what happened with his back again. I don't know if it was exactly on the throw, but it sounded like after that throwing out the runner at second base there. I think in the third or fourth inning, whatever it may have been, definitely kind of tweaked something in itself. So at least the D-backs training staff was proactive this time, and I'd rather have him miss 10 days than, like Gabe said, with last year in the hand, have him play through it, and then next thing you know, he's on the 15-day, and then maybe missing like a month and a half, 2 months. But seeing him go on the 10-day IL, does this raise any kind of concerns with you, as this is yet again another injury for our catcher?
So it was after the second, is when he was, because that's when he threw out the runner, and then he was subbed out in the third inning. So I don't know. Like, I don't know how I feel about it. Like, because this could, like Gabe said, this could be something he misses, I don't know, 10 days, 2 weeks, and then we get to August and September, and that's all he's missed. So this could be absolutely nothing. It could just be them being a little bit more proactive and not wanting to risk it further like they did last year with the broken hand. Maybe just let him sit for a little bit. Because we do have two solid guys that can play catcher in his stead with James McCann and Adrian Del Castillo. ADC had a fantastic series, by the way, which shouldn't be shocked by. He didn't have spring, so like I know for me, I was gonna give ADC like at least 2 or 3 weeks of playing time before I would overreact to if he wasn't batting well. I'm like, he didn't get a spring because he pulled a calf muscle playing first base, which which I'm glad, because he needs to be the first baseman of the future. That's what I think ADC's spot is, because he's not catching because it's Gabby, and DH, he can't hit lefties. So I don't know if I'm worried about it. Just depends on how much time he's missing. So right now, I'm gonna say it's not a big deal to me. He just probably hurt his back a little bit by getting up too quickly. Like, could that have been he did the throw just a little bit too quickly?
Maybe he pulled a Sammy Sosa and sneezed too hard and like pulled a muscle, which is a real thing if you didn't know.
It happens to a lot of us, by the way. You sneeze and you pull something, you're like, I didn't know that could be pulled that way. But for now, I'm not concerned too much. It just depends on how much time he's missing. And it sucks right now because he was playing really well. He'd been playing really well the last week. Had a great series in New York. So it was definitely a bummer to see him go out. But I'm not concerned. I don't want to overreact too much to something like this. Like, it's not like it's a injury that he's suffered before is all. So I'm going to hold my reservations on my reaction to this until we see how much time he actually misses.
Yeah, I think if it was another groin issue or like re-aggravating some of the things he's had, like I think in 24 was the when he against the Guardians, I think he hit a home run and then tweaked his groin, and that's when he kind of missed like a month or so, maybe 2 months in that season. If it was the same issue that he's kind of already had happen, I would definitely be more concerned than I currently am. I mean, obviously it's still not great. I didn't even know that Johnny Snakes is saying that you should nickname him Glass, which I can understand at least to a certain degree. The frustration with the injuries and him missing the time, because I mean he's a Gold Glover caliber catcher. He's one of the best in the league, and when he's healthy, he's playing. He is all-star caliber catcher. But that's again the big if of getting him actually playing. But I do think that this might be one of the few times where we're always critical about the D-backs training staff and how it seems like they don't really know what they're doing. At least in this time, it seemed like they were being proactive. So at least we can give them their flowers there. Which not the only time we'll say this series that somebody in the D-backs organization that's deserved criticism definitely made some great calls this year, but a little bit more on that here in a second. But I did have one more follow up question here in regards to Game 1. It's kind of I guess would tie into Game 2 here or Game 3 here in Sunday. Obviously, we know they won, but I have a different follow up on that one. So, is this year? I know obviously in the previous years we've dubbed them the answer backs and all that. But there's been a new name this year. So do you think that this year in 2026 is going to be the story of the answer backs part two, the drama backs, due to 6 of their 9 wins being come from behind victories?
I think this team, for the most part, is still finding their identity. Like right now, it is kind of like the answer backs, drama backs, but this team isn't fully healthy. Like they don't have Gurriel back, they don't have Jordan Lawler back. Like they're missing some pretty key offensive guys. So, but the way this pitching has been, like it could be just them mowing down guys after this, like mowing down the competition, or you know maybe this is a I don't know. I can't. My desk isn't made out of wood, so knock on wood that what we're seeing now from this pitching staff is real. Because at the end of the day, we don't truly know. Like Soroka, if you look at his baseball savant page, there's a lot of blue on there, and I know, it's the eye test and everything else. It does matter to a certain extent, but seeing that much blue, seeing that he's probably due for some real regression, it is kind of alarming. Same with we saw today from Zach Gallen. Zach Gallen, for the most part, had been pitching maybe a little bit better than he should have been, which is saying a lot because he's not like he's been amazing either. But the fact that he's just getting no whiffs on any of his pitches is a huge problem, and they finally made him pay. Like it really seems like right now the only real pitcher with the real stuff going is Erod. So yeah, like I really don't know. Like I think we need about a month or two to really know what this team is because Marikelli's coming back. What is he going to be when he comes back? What is Gurriel going to be? So I just think that as of right now, them having this sort of like more small ball mentality, it's been working, and it's something that I've mentioned before that I wanted to see a little bit more, just because of the team that they had assembled before. But the fact that they hit one home run in what 2 weeks almost, like
Yeah, it feels
that's
since Jordan Lawler's against the Braves, I
yeah.
believe.
So that's I know, like I said, like small ball can win games, but the way to be able to put teams away is by getting that one big home run. Like small ball can only get you, like we've seen, 3 or 4 runs, and then you're kind of just at this point just trying to move guys on. But if we had a guy like maybe Suarez, like I know maybe he's struggling a little bit to start the season, but how many times has this team had the bases loaded and they either don't do anything or just get a single, so then 1 or 2 runs score? Like no, there hasn't been that true knockout punch so far. So for me, that's kind of the main thing to look out for coming up, especially once guys start to get healthy. Is can this team deliver a knockout punch, or is this going to be the case where we look up at the end of the season and see, oh, they went 50 and 45 in one run games, or 45 and 50 in one run games, and that's how they missed the playoffs. So, you don't want to have to flip a coin to figure out this team is going to win or not.
Yes, I definitely think that if the bullpen is pitching the way they are currently, I don't mind small ball. I mean, I love bunting. I know today even Perdomo He's just struggling a little bit, man. Having some horrible ABS challenges, not bunting really well. He's off to a rough start, so maybe need to switch up the lineup a little bit and get his mojo flowing properly there. But I don't necessarily mind some small ball with the way that a win is a win. Even as Scott Mack is saying, I don't even miss homers. I love the wins. Like I love some small ball as long as the bullpen is performing the way they will. Even as Gabe alluded to, if this is truly what the bullpen is, cool. I think we're still going to see a little bit of regression, maybe even in the pitching itself and the starting pitching. And if that's the case, then I do think we need a little bit more slug, like Gabe said, because he makes a great point. Having that ability to have like a big knockout, or at least one swing, you get yourself back into a game. Like maybe you're down by 4, down by 5, you get a bloop, a bunt single, 2 runners on. That big 3-run home run is a big way to get yourself back in the lead. And I know the small cuts here and there, like we even saw against the Mets, where they're just hit after hit after hit. Really clutch. You can build up a big inning with this offense, but sometimes having that big home run is a big momentum swing and something that I think that this team needs a little bit more of. But I don't necessarily hate the fact that we're winning with seeing just clutch, singles, doubles here and there, good base running, fundamental baseball, because even as some of the people in the chat here saying, like Scott Mack, and even Disrupt is saying that small ball is what helped in 23. And I truly do believe that just fundamental small baseball, playing, giving what they give you, and not trying to do too much, not trying to play hero ball every at bat, is definitely key. But a little more slug, I think we can all agree would definitely go a long way and make us, I think, a little bit more of a deeper and deadlier offense. But
Yeah, and I don't want to say like they should like sell out for a slug every single time like they did in the last couple of seasons where it seemed like everyone was going for the fences. But if they give you a fastball straight down the middle, you want a guy who's going to be able to match that because you want to make these guys pay. Like today, Perdomo got like 2 or 3 straight down the middle. He fouled them off. I'm like, if this was Schwarber or Harper, then this game would have been maybe a lot more lopsided in that situation.
yeah, very very good point, honestly. Brandon, on to you, my friend. Seeing this team's kind of a knack for. I mean, it's even been all over Twitter. Like this is not a boring team to watch. Whether they win, whether they lose. I mean, outside of the one Braves blow up game, every loss has been by 2 runs or less. Like it's been a game where, or a season so far where every game is fun. There's a lot of drama. So that's why I guess my follow up question, especially going on you now, is 2026 going to indeed be the Answer Backs Part 2, the Diamondbacks?
I'm with Gabe. I think it's too early to tell. This team doesn't have an identity yet because most of the guys are hitting sub 200. Perdomo, Marte flirts with 200. Like he'll have a game where he gets 2 hits, he goes above 200. Then he'll have another game where he goes for an over and he's back under 200. So I will. A win is a win, and it's nice. I watched Jolly Olive's video today about last season's bullpen.
Bullpen. Oh, did you get war flashbacks? Did you want to puke?
If we can, if small ball means that we win all these close games, and we don't have these games where we score 10 plus runs and we lose the game, I will take small ball. I will take it. If we don't have anyone hit 20 homers, but we have an over 500 record in 1-run games. Like, say we're right there for the wild card there that last week of the season, and I'm fine with it because at that point we're gonna probably have AJ Puck back, Lourdes Gurriel back, we'll have Corbin Burns back. Like, I'm not sure about J Mart. I personally don't think he's playing this year. That's just me personally.
If we're in the race, I could see them, making sure he's used in August and September. I just don't think we're getting him back before that.
So the way they've been winning these games, it's not good for my my health because it causes a lot of anxiety there with me. Just because like today I got super excited and I was like, God, freaking Jose Fernandez. If we're just talking about this game, they were 7-0 when he started games. 7-0. So he needs to play every day, which he played every game in this series. I don't care where you play him, third, first, DH, have him go play left field or something.
8-1 after the game 2.
Correct.
But hey, still, 8-1 with him starting, kind of some numbers at least
you need to put him in the lineup. Shit, with Gabby out, he should be batting cleanup like he did today. So Dramabacks, I would agree. For what we've seen so far, is the 2026 team name, the Dramabacks.
Yeah, I know Steve even dubbed it. It was either Steve or Chris on the radio who dubbed him the Diamondbacks after I think one of the Jose Fernandez walk-offs or one of the games against the Braves. Or not walk-offs for Jose Fernandez, the go-ahead run against the Tigers, excuse me. But yes, they definitely just and a very exciting team that I know again it's still very early. Teams do go through ebbs and flows the entire season, but if we go back into even our Discord alone and look at a lot of the Discord's outlook at this team throughout the offseason and I guess the lack of moves, especially to the bullpen and all that. I mean, everyone, and again, it's a long season, but being 2 games over 500 after this 6 games against the Mets and the Phillies, and especially after starting 0-3 against the Dodgers, like I think this team is so far as at least even us after the 0-3 start against the Dodgers, we're looking at the schedule and we're like, holy fuck, man, can we at least be 5 under at minimum, 5 under 500 after the end of April, and we're happy. Where we're already 2 weeks almost into April, and we're almost 3 over 500. So definitely a much better team at least so far at the start than I think a lot of us were truly.
And I will say, I think it might be a blessing in disguise that we faced off all these teams to start off, because a lot of these teams are really cold right now. A lot of them are really, really struggling. Like being able to get these teams, at the point where we got them. The Tigers were really struggling offensively. The Phillies too. Like the Phillies have not
They
looked as
can't
good
hit.
as. Yeah, right now they're really struggling to hit. They got blanked by the Rockies or
Giants.
whatever, Giants for 2 games or something like that. They came
Yeah,
into
they had 20 straight scoreless innings.
20 straight, and then
before this
they
is,
scored one
this
run,
started.
and then they went on another scoreless streak after that game. So it's what was it like? They scored 4, and then they had 8 scoreless, 9, 10. They had 10 straight scoreless, and then even we can talk about it in a bit. Saturday too, they just scored all in one run, all in one inning, and today also all in one inning. So these teams, like I said, the Diamondbacks are beating them, but it's not like these teams are, you know, currently firing on
Firing on
all
all cylinders.
cylinders.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we also didn't get Juan Soto against the Mets either. So, you would rather face these teams while they're all down than. I mean, credit to Diamondbacks, they're still beating them, which is kind of the biggest point here is that you face the competition you get, and as of right now, they've been able to put them away, which we saw last season where they would face off against a bad team and they just for whatever reason, just could not beat them. They would, step on their own dick every single time. So the fact that they're actually beating the teams that they need to beat, and we're getting them at a time where they're all down, and the Diamondbacks are just coming away with the wins.
Yes, and even like you said with some of these teams are having players. That's at least where I think we're kind of in the same boat though. Like it's been even mentioned multiple times. Domo, Marte, the bottom of the lineup. There's only a few hitters here in the lineup that are actually hitting like pretty much over like 250, 300. And it's Corbin and Jose Fernandez. We're getting contributions here, like and Ildemar Vargas. I do want to Vargas has been off to an amazing start this year. He's been truly clutch. He's been without him. I think we don't win as many of the games as we have so far. So definitely missing some good so far good performances from our big hitters in our offense. So at least we're kind of on the same level as some of these other teams with their struggles. Because I know Francisco Lindor, I've seen Mets fans on Twitter basically thinking that they should get rid of him already and he shouldn't be a Met anymore, which is absolutely insane. But yeah, so it's just either way. I think the Diamondbacks is it's going to be a team where it's very fun to watch. And the last couple of games, I've actually been excited to see the bullpen come out. Again, call me crazy, but I mean, Loaizaga, even Thompson, which we'll get into his really clutch performance there in the 8th inning today in Sunday's game. Like, a lot different feeling from this bullpen than we've seen before. So definitely a team that I'm enjoying watching here so far. But some quick comments I want to touch on before we get into our game 2 here. I know speaking of the line kind of suffering, Thomas, Tawa, and Barosa are liabilities. What Scott Mack has to say. At least each one of them does provide something positive. Even Bryce Stanton below him does say that he gets it. Alec hasn't produced at the plate. These numbers say he's lightly unlucky. He's also a top 3 defender in baseball now. I mean, he's got 4 wins or 4 defensive runs saved in center field. So he's playing Gold Glove defense once again. And I truly think the bat will come around. And we saw him hit well in the WBC. So he at least provides a glove. Tawa. he can provide a little bit of a utility. I mean, just like
It's
today,
at 6 now, by the way.
so
He
that's
has
that's
6
insane.
defensive run
Six
saves.
DRS in 2 weeks or 3 weeks is absolutely insane. So he's got the defense. Tawa at least provides the ability to play around the field, and Barossa even brought up on the broadcast. He's had some really solid at bats. Every time he does get a hit, it's pretty much an extra base hit. I know his average and the pop still isn't fully there, but this is we're seeing much better at bats from Barossa than we have in the last couple of years. So I'm at least okay with that. And, he at least deserves a little bit of credit on that. Even Johnny Snakes has the blood pressure high and low in regards to what Brandon was saying in these games, making it a little bit rough to watch at times, which I truly agree. The Mighty Schumann saying might be a bit premature. A trio of Fernandez, Lawler, and Waldschmidt and their emergence this year could prove to be the difference maker between making and not making the playoffs, which I truly fully agree. That is definitely something to hope for, especially if Tawa and Barossa keep struggling the way they are. If Waldschmidt is hitting the way he is, I mean, already hitting over like almost 350 in Reno right now, slugging the ball. Definitely would love to see some Waldy bombs here, which will be tough to find some playing time for him once Lourdes gets back. But if he's pushing the envelope the way he is in Reno, you got to make it happen. It's just sometimes the youth experience meshed with some of the veteran leadership we're going to be getting is the right kind of concoction you need. Um, and then our boy Shug, one of the few Dodger fans we enjoy around here. Nice hat. I appreciate you, my friend. I always love to see you in here, as long as everyone else. Also want to shout out our man AZ Bubba that hopped in earlier. But going on to game 2 here, we already mentioned it before, but Ketel Marte did have a leadoff home run there against former D-back Taijuan Walker, who just had a god-awful start to the season. I don't know why the Phillies haven't released him yet. That was the D-back's first home run since Jordan Lawler's home run against the Braves in that Thursday game. So in a little bit over a week, they went without hitting a home run, which, as we mentioned before, can be good and bad. But he did pass Chris Young for the most all-time leadoff home runs in D-backs history. So once again, Ketel going down, putting his name up there as an all-time D-back in the record books. And then Corbin Carroll walk, 4-pitch walk, which the Philly fans were definitely very happy about, followed by an ADC RBI single 2 batters later, made it 2-0 in the first. Unfortunately, that was the only runs they would score off Taijuan Walker, who had a 9 ERA going into this, as he would blank the offense the next 4 innings. Especially, I mean, he had 2 really nice backdoor sinkers to get Jose Fernandez on called 3 strikes. But still, you'd like to see them put it more offense on I'm going to be nice, but a really, really bad pitcher. Brandon Pfaadt, yet again, has the issue with the blow-up inning, where his numbers overall don't look terrible. I mean, 6 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, only 3 of them were earned, 3 walks, which is another issue, 6 Ks, but 2 home runs. So once again, the long ball biting him in the ass, allowed all those runs in the inning, and that was the only inning, like Gabe said, the only inning the Phillies scored in, but unfortunately it was just enough for them to, take the win eventually. A big positive, though, is actually a pretty fun story. He did do a gender reveal for his brother Brett and his, I think, fiance, wife, whatever it was, and he wore, specific colored laces, whether it was a boy or a girl. So shout out to the Fott family and the new little one joining their life there. That was kind of a cool moment there, whether the win or loss. I always love to see moments like that in the field. Jose Fernandez, yet again, the dude is just absolutely clutch. He is basically captain clutch here. An RBI single there in the 8th inning made it a 1-run deficit, but Nolan Arenado, as Gabe said earlier, was left in to hit and chased a ball that basically started off the plate and then ended in the other batter's box. Struck out against Brad Keller, ended the rally, and the D-backs could not get a single thing going up against another former D-back in Johan Duran there in the 9th inning, which was the first Diamondbacks loss with Jose Fernandez starting a game. So taking that on account, I know it's not fully confirmed yet, but seeing that Merrill Kelly is going to be the Tuesday starter for the Orioles, there's no spot open on the 40-man roster as it is. Somebody will need to be moved. It seems like he is going to be the odd man out, considering how Ryan Nelson really performed well against the Mets in that last game. So if that is indeed true, that he is going to be optioned down to Reno, my question to you and everyone else in the chat is, what is your optimism level in hoping that he can figure out his struggles, whether it's a simple fix, whether it's, just get Brent Strom on the phone and be like, hey, man, please work your magic once again, and then getting him back to the ability that he showed the flashes of throughout 2024. I mean, we saw, and we made memes about it in 24, where there's times where he was like our best pitcher on the staff. That was the year the D-backs gave him that contract extension, but in 2025 and so far into 2026, he's just continuing to have this issue with a blow-up inning and then surrendering the long ball.
Yeah, like I'm really curious to see if it's mental. Like he has this stuff. You see the way batters react to his pitches. Like they can look really silly when he's on the mound, but he'll have a couple of innings, or specifically one inning, where he just loses control, walks guys, and in this case, it is his fault, but also isn't his fault. There was an error by Perdomo that extended the inning. Like if he wouldn't have,
That shouldn't have been an error, by the way. That thing was hit hard.
yeah, it was really hard. Still technically in errors, but it's one. But he was getting hit hard at least in that one inning. But if you look at the pitches to Harper and Schwarber, they were straight down the middle, so it wasn't like a fastball inside that they just got off of him or something like that. It wasn't like a good pitch. So I don't know. Like maybe it's just like a mental thing that he goes through, like kind of like a Zach Gallen last season, or even like throughout Zach Gallen's career, where he kind of just starts to slowly unravel for one inning. Something goes wrong, and then he has the really bad one big inning. So I don't know what it is. Like I said, it's not the stuff. It's like he has really good stuff, and I just truly don't know what it is. Because if you see, like, it's the eye test, you look at it and you're kind of like, yeah, everything is moving. Got good movement. He's getting swing and miss, and he's just maybe not able to put guys away. But then he'll have an inning where he throws it three straight balls down the middle, and that'll get hit for a home run. So I really don't know what it is. Maybe they just got to figure out that fastball, see if maybe it can turn into some sort of sinker fastball rather than just a straight fastball, because it is a really heavy fastball. So once guys make any contact with it, they do hit it really hard. So maybe that's the solution here. Maybe they can do that in Reno, but with Reno being Reno, it's hard to really develop pitches there. So I really don't know what the answer is for Fott. At first it was the mound thing, just be on the left side instead of the right side. So I don't know. Like if you look at the stat line, 6 innings, 3 runs, 6 strikeouts, it's a pretty decent line. But you still look at that ERA. It's a 6 ERA. He hasn't been under 4 basically his whole career. So it's a very curious case where a guy just doesn't seem to be able to perform to the level that you want him to, and despite having the stuff. And he is one of those guys where I feel like if he goes to Cleveland or something, he's gonna become like Tarek Skubal or something like that if we let him go.
Yes, I definitely has the potential. I mean, we saw it in 24. Even Johnny Snake saying that if he can find it out, he can be a Cy Young winner. He has potential to do it. It's just needs to figure out what the issue is. I know Bryce stated in the comments saying, which I think is this is a great point to bring up. He has nothing to throw to lefties. His changeup is one of the worst pitches in baseball statistically, and then also says lefties are 14 for 39 against him this season with 3 home runs, whereas in righties are only 3 for 27. So yeah, I mean his sinker is disgusting, his sweeper is disgusting. Maybe Gabe has a good point. Maybe his fastball's too flat. I mean, he already throws a sweeper, so maybe if he can figure out a cutter, I know it's a lot easier said than done, but I don't know if he already throws a cutter. I thought he did, but maybe I'm mistaken. Like maybe instead of just a regular fastball, you try to figure out more of like a cut fastball. Maybe you rework your change, get like a different grip. Maybe you figure out what it is. Maybe you learn how to, if you can, if you could just take a pitcher's pitch, give Justin Martinez splitter to Brandon Pfaadt, that'd be disgusting. But yeah, so he definitely needs to figure a few things out here, which is very unfortunate that he's got to go down to Reno to do it. I mean, that is of all the places, that's like a recovering alcoholic, where it's like, hey man, we need you to figure out your issues. So what you're gonna go do is every Tuesday you're gonna have a meeting inside of a bar down in Tempe where you guys are gonna talk about your issues. I'm like, okay, maybe not the best places to do this, but if you can do it, you can really persevere and you can show that you're strong. So definitely need him to figure it out, because I mean we gave him the contract extension, not like it was like million, like a ton of money, but it's still a considerable amount of money that we invested in him early, and I'm hoping that we can get some that ROI here soon, and he can come back from Reno, which would, I believe, be his final option. So at that point, it's kind of like sink or swim, unfortunately. Definitely need him to just figure it out, because he has the potential, just needs, I think, to tweak a few things here and there, because we definitely will need him, especially in 2027 and going forward, because starting pitching is still an area that we don't really have a solidified staff going forward after this year. But Brandon, passing on to you, my friend, with the, I would say, inevitability that he is optioned down to Reno, I know I thought it was confirmed by Gambo, but that was more, as you pointed up on our group chat, more of him just putting out the idea there that, Fott, instead of moved to the bullpen, is moved down to Reno, which I think is the better option. What's your optimism levels that he can truly figure it out and bounce back and become the pitcher and, at the full ability that we know that he has showcased here in past outings?
I think they just need to decide: do they want him to develop all of his pitches, or should they just focus on like two or three? Should they just focus on the sinker, sweeper, and cutter? Have him just be a three pitch guy instead of trying to work on that fastball, which just doesn't seem to work. Like Gabe said, it's very heavy. It just doesn't seem to work. I think every start he's had one big inning, but the rest of the outing he's fine. Like, if he could just limit that, because he did that against Detroit. He did it in this one, and I think he's had one other start. So it's just, he's got to find a way to not have that big inning or limit it. So instead of 4 runs, only give up 2 runs so that it's not as bad. So I'm trying to find his game log real quick. Yeah, and then Atlanta, he gave up 3 in 4 2/3. So the Detroit start, the Atlanta start, and then this start. So just, again, you can't take out those innings in those starts because that's just not how things work. But like outside of those innings, he looks pretty decent. So I just think he needs to focus on the pitches that work for him and not try and use, just because he's a starting pitcher, oh, he has to have that four-seam fastball. Well, if it doesn't work, do what Corbin Burns did several seasons ago and get rid of it completely. Like he got rid of it, and now he has literally the best cutter in Major League Baseball with Corbin Burns. That cutter is just one of the best in Major League Baseball. So I think he just needs to, they need to make a decision on, do they want to focus on the sinker, cutter, sweeper? Do they want to try and work on that four-seam fastball? I don't know if the PCL is the best league to try and work through that stuff, but there's not an option. But this decision for this team is very easy with Kelly coming back. It's send Fott to Reno. Soroka has looked really good. Nelson looked really good in his last start. I don't see them sending Nelson to the bullpen.
No.
Because that would just, I think that would hurt his development as well.
And there's not really anybody out of the bullpen you can really kick out right now. It's not like we have Joe Ross back there anymore. With the way everyone's pitching, you can't demote anybody in the bullpen.
Yeah, and then we didn't discuss this. They have to make a 40-man probably adjustment with the Gabby injury, because we have no position players on the 40-man that are not on the Major League roster right now. Just looking at the bullpen, Clark has looked really good. You could say Ginkel. You could. He hasn't been that great, but he's looked good lately. Hoffman's been good. Weiziga, outside of his 2 blown saves. Juan Murillo has looked fantastic.
Yeah, after that Will Smith home run, he's looked amazing.
Maybe Taylor Rashi, but we kind of need a long man there in the bullpen. Do you want to have Fott be the long man in the bullpen? That could potentially be the move. I don't think Ryan Thompson's given up a run so far. He has 9 games, 6 1/3. He has a 0 ERA. So yeah, I just think the decision is super easy. It shouldn't be this difficult. It sucks for Fott, really does. But I think he's the one that has to go, and it's have to go down onto Reno, and hopefully it helps him out.
Yes, I definitely just needs a fresh start, and hopefully, they can work something. Because I didn't even know that it was brought up in the broadcast, but Mighty Schumann bringing it up here saying, I feel like Blake could emphasize having a few good pitches as opposed to having a kitchen sink. Even like Brandon said, just being a starting pitcher, you don't need to throw all these pitches. If it's not working for you, it's not working for you. Don't force a pitch because these are major league hitters; they're going to hit it. But goes on to say, given the whole pitcher's strength versus hitter's weakness bit, which I do kind of like the thought process there. Like again, you want a game plan, but instead of trying to pitch around and pitch afraid to these hitters and be like, okay, where can I attack them? More be like, okay, where do I feel comfortable throwing? Like what pitch is working for me in this scenario? What location? What spot? No matter the hitter, like could be fucking Kyle Schwarber, could be Prime Barry Bonds, could be Bryson Stott up there. How do I want to attack this lefty? What's my most comfortable way of getting out a lefty and pitch it from there, and not necessarily game plan against every specific individual hitter. And even Bryce bringing up some more stats in here saying that ironically he doesn't throw enough four seamers, does Fott, that it's under 10% this year, but his sinker, cutter, and sweeper combination is over 60%, and his curveball usage is up a lot. So it does already seem like he's not throwing the fastball as much, and I wouldn't be surprised if that usage dips a little bit more and we see it go down even further. But maybe that's another sign that, hey, they're already kind of trying to work its way out of his repertoire, and they just go, hey, you know what, man, maybe we can revisit it down the line. Maybe in spring training next year we try to work on like a new release point, a new grip, whatever it is with the fastball. But for right now, if your sinker, your cutter, and your sweeper are doing good, maybe your curveball can be your fourth pitch. Don't throw the changeup. Don't throw the four seamer. Do what you feel most comfortable with getting outs and what actually has some movement, and maybe develop a little bit of an extra pitch, or maybe work on your cutter to, even like Bryce said, get something a little bit better against lefties.
Yeah. The reason why I brought up the four seamer specifically is because that's what he gave up to Bryce Harper. It was just a fastball,
Yeah.
straight down the middle, and then the what was it? The Crawford single was also a fastball down the middle. The only one that wasn't was the Kyle Schwarber one, which was a changeup that went straight down the middle. But it's what they're mentioning in the chat. Like his changeup just hasn't been good at all this year. So he got burned on the two pitches that have been his least productive so far this season. So maybe look more for the sinker, cutter, and curve. Maybe like whatever it might be. Like you said, if you can develop the splitter, I do think like with the amount of speed that he has, I think he could be really productive. But it is something that he has to work on. Like just find one pitch that he can feel comfortable throwing that he can use to get outs. Because Ryan Nelson gets into trouble. He's a 3-2 count. He's just gonna throw that fastball, up in the zone, and guys are like always gonna swing at it. Like that's a pitch that he's comfortable with. For the longest time, Zach Gallen, just that. Either it was a changeup and then the curveball, like 3-2 count. You're just gonna throw that knuckle curve. Like a lot of these guys just have pitches that they trust, and so far Erod, even the changeup too. That changeup is nasty. Just the
Erod's
way
changeup has been disgusting this year.
it starts straight down the middle, then it ends just outside, and it's one of those pitches that you can't take because it's way too close. So maybe that's just what Fott needs. He just needs his out pitch, like a pitch that he knows he can trust every single time. And as of right now, the fastball and the changeup are just not it.
Yeah, it definitely needs to maybe abandon a few pitches here and there, or just whatever. Definitely going to need some tinkering, but I don't think that it'll be at the major league roster. I think we all know, even himself, unfortunately, because again, he's a great dude. Like I met him at one of the Dbacks fan fests. He's a great dude, but it's just that's the way Major League Baseball is it's a performance based game, and if you don't have the results, you're gonna have to either find a new pitch. You're gonna have to figure out what it is, because like I said, he has the stuff. He just is not executing and is getting hit a little bit too much in one of these innings. Just even if he doesn't figure out a way to get rid of the home run problem, just figure out a way to limit the damage in one inning. Make those 4-run innings into a 1 or 2-run inning, and I think these starts look a lot better. His ERA looks a lot more manageable. And even as Johnny Snake says, they fix Diaz, they can fix Fott, which that's a great point. He can definitely he definitely can get fixed. And even one more point on Fott. Bryce is saying that Fott throws a cutter to lefties 30% of the time. If it's that rough, I guess maybe that's the point. If it's that rough, I guess don't throw it. But I don't know. You do make a great point, Bryce. He's got to figure out a way to get more lefties out, because lefties are just absolutely mashing against him this year, and it's been part of the reason with the struggles. The home runs against Harper, Schwarber, Drake Baldwin home run, they're feasting off him. But thankfully, Sunday's win did wash out the unfortunate loss that was on Friday, as this was another really close game. Every single one of these games in the series was a 1-run result. James McCann got the scoring for the D-back starter there in the second inning, as it was supposed to be Andrew Painter starting the game for the Phillies, but he was scratched due to migraines. Did eventually come in there, I believe, in the third. Yeah, he was scratched. It's basically they just use an opener. Who knows? He's young. Maybe he was partying a little bit too much. I don't know. I got migraines before. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to kind of resolve, but James McCann took advantage of that. I think went up against Zach Pop, He got an RBI double there in the second inning, and then Nolan Arenado got himself a sac fly in the sixth inning. I know he actually did something. Holy shit! Gave the D-backs a 2-0 lead, which again isn't, with the way the bullpen's pitching, you're like, hell yeah, but the bullpen wasn't pitching yet in this one. Zach Gallen, who was really solid through 5 innings, I mean, shut out the Phillies through those first 5 innings, but it really all Tokyo Gould and unraveled there in the sixth inning as 4 straight extra base hits from the Phillies, a double, home run for Trey Turner, and then back-to-back doubles for Schwarber and Harper. Gave the Phillies a 3-2 lead and chased that down from the game before he could even record an out there in the sixth inning. Finished with a final line of 5 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, and 2 strikeouts, which the low strikeout numbers is another big thing. I don't think Zach has a combined more than like 7 strikeouts this year so far, so he's not getting the swing and miss, he's not getting the strikeouts, but he's pitching better overall, so, I'll take some overall better results here and there over the lack of strikeouts. This man right here, the guy that, hey, who knows, place your bets for your rookie of the year. Maybe this guy is going to be the rookie of the year favorite here, the way he's playing in these couple weeks. Jose Fernandez came with a very, very clutch game-tying RBI single there in the 8th inning. The dude, before today, already had a .4 WAR in the season. I'm curious to see what it is tomorrow. That's off of B-WAR, obviously. I'm not sure what Fangraphs is, but already almost half of a WAR in his, 10, 12 games played is incredible. As I said earlier, Torey Lovullo, he made some really good managerial decisions in this game, which is nice to see. He pinch hit Cattell for Arenado, and Cattell ended up drawing a walk. And then that eventually led to, I think that pushed the runner into scoring position for Adrian Del Castillo, who was pinch hit in place of Tim Tawa, who he got the go-ahead RBI single there to give the D-backs that lead in the 8th inning. The Phillies almost got it right back. Kevin Ginkel, who again has had some solid outings here the last couple appearances, tried to undo all that goodwill. Gave the Phillies runners on first and third after a Harper walk and then I think it was a Brandon Marsh single. Gave them a first and third. Got a big strikeout against Bryson Stott, and then Torey Lovullo once again. Not I feel like Torey Lovullo in the past, if this was again, a game this early last year, the couple years before, would have probably let Ginkel out there, to work through some things, oh, hey, he's got to get it right. I trust him. He's our guy. He's done it in the past, go and get him, Tiger. I feel like in the past would have let him out there, but no, he went to Ryan Thompson out of the pen, and Ryan Thompson got Adolis Garcia to pop up in the infield, but I believe it was Brandon Marsh. Yeah, Brandon Marsh on first was stealing in this scenario. And I don't know what his issue was. He went on to second base and then went to go back, but hesitated, touched second, and the D-backs were able to double him off at first base there. So a huge, huge result there. Obviously, it looked like the Phillies were immediately about to take or at least tie the game back, potentially lead to another big inning, but the D-backs bullpen once again clutches up, gets out of the jam there. And then another player that, again, we've talked about a lot in the Discord, especially good old Paul Sewald is throwing some meatballs up there, but hey, you know what? If it's getting the job done, it's getting the job done. That's all you can ask for. Continues to perform in save situations. That's the big key. If it's a save situation, he's good. If it's not a save situation, he has been getting hit hard. Goes 1-2-3 in the 9th inning with his 5th save of the season. I believe he is tied for the league lead in saves, and out of all the people he is tied with, he has more strikeouts than them. Yes, more strikeouts than Johan Duran, which is crazy. And then another fun stat here that was from Steve Zinsmeister on Twitter. The D-backs bullpen over the last 8 games, they're 3 earned runs in 29 and a third innings pitched for a .92, yes, a 0.92 ERA. 0.92 ERA, with obviously Paul Sewald having 5 saves over that span. So just overall team performance, great decisions from Torey Lovullo in the manager spot that we, I don't think any of us were expecting, which kind of leading into our first topic here. Usually I have a question about this one, but I think this one just at least just a topic of discussion in general. As in the past, almost a decade, or at least a decade of him doing this job here, we've seen him time and time again make some very questionable choices, whether it's lineup decisions to start a game, lacking of pinch hitting. Obviously last year, the Jose Herrera against the Astros game, keeping him in a hit. That's something that I think a lot of us definitely rightfully criticized him for last year. But this game alone was one of those games where he really deserves his flowers for especially how he managed the bench and that bullpen there in the 8th inning, and really seemed to press all the right buttons and use everything at his disposal that was allowed to him. So, just again, not really a question, but just I guess we are very critical. We are very, we will always voice our, issues and concerns with the way that he can manage a game here and there, especially with the bullpen and all that. But I think it's definitely deserving of Torrey getting his flowers here for this game because again, he really did a fantastic job there and made all the right calls there that led to this D-backs comeback victory.
Yeah, I mean, I think he probably just learned his lesson from Saturday where he did mess up and not subbing in Vargas or Arenado. I believe there was a man on third and first. It was two outs already, and he said like Arenado just struck out on the ball, just terrible swing decisions, and just he just completely lost out there. So it seemed like he, really learned his lesson from trusting Arenado. Like it took a while, but it seems like maybe he just doesn't trust Arenado at at this point in the season. Like, will Arenado come out of this funk that he's in? Maybe. We just don't know. Like it's not like he has a good track record these last couple of seasons of being very good. So we just have to wait and see if he can come around a little bit and be a 220, 230 type of hitter. But in this case, it seemed like Lovella was playing with with more urgency than he was yesterday. So that's always something, since we've had this podcast, that's something that I've like screamed from the rooftop. It's just like this lack of urgency from him. And, even at times as a player, it's just like not going for the kill, just being content with the series win or even being content with, fighting to live another, living to fight another day type of mentality. Like the same thing that burned the Cardinals these last few years, where they're playing for ties, and it seemed like for the longest time that's what Lovella was doing, just playing for ties rather than just actually trying to finally win the game. And at least in this game, and then I believe it was one for the Braves series as well when he substituted in Gabby for might have been McCann
It was in the
at
Mets
that.
series he did that too, where he
No,
subbed in
the
Gabby.
Mets. Yeah, yeah. It was the Mets, not the Braves, but it was in that series, and gave him his flowers into with the Brandon that like that's what we want to see. We want to see an active manager, a guy who if the guy isn't performing, bring in a guy who is. In this case, we have Vargas who's been performing, and Cattell. He's been struggling, but Cattell is still always he's always a guy that teams fear. Like that's the reason he got pitched around. Like you don't want to face him because at any point, if he makes contact with that ball, it's going out of the ballpark. So him being still that force that he is, like he's been struggling, but you just know he's still a threat. So being able to have him there and on the bench, at least in the meantime, it made a huge difference. And then the other substitutions as well. So if you're gonna substitute, then substitute right. And as of right now, the main guys to substitute in and out for probably is Arenado and then Tawa. Like both of them have contributed nothing offensively. So if you have a guy on the bench, whether it's Vargas or Cattell or any of these other guys, then I think it's good to play with a little bit more sense of urgency, because if he let Arenado bat today again, and he strikes out or whatever like he did yesterday, they lose this game, then they drop to 500, and then like we mentioned before, like you can't lose the you can't lose the division. What is it?
Can't lose
What is
it in
it?
April, but you can sure.
Not win it.
Yeah,
Yes, you
you can
can't win.
definitely.
There you go. You can't win a division in April, but you can lose it.
Yeah. Which hey man, the Dodgers have 11 wins, the D-backs at 9. Like long season to go, but hey, if we can make it to where the Dodgers aren't popping champagne in late August, then I'm perfectly okay with it. Definitely a welcome change in the division. Our boy Bryce, we will definitely be getting a little bit of a Paul Sewell discussion here, and I'll bring up those numbers here in a second. But even Corbin Barrels, I think, kind of echoes the same thing that I know in our group chat we were talking about, saying that we were so mad yesterday for not pinching it for Nolan. I know even online people were like, I think it was AZ D-back stats and info. Which again, I could see the standpoint bringing up like, hey, last year or the 2 years ago, we were asking for Gino to be cut because he was hitting like 170, he was playing horribly, and then he turned around. Look at that, sometimes give these guys. But as Gabe already brought up, Gino had what was coming off a 30-year or 30 home run season in Seattle the year before, like when he got him. So it's like, hey, this is a guy that we know could still produce. Where Arenado has been on a downward trend the last 2 years, so he has not been good the last 2 years. Where Gino was at least good and was just off to a slow
And
start.
I actually looked it up. At this point, it was April 12th when I looked it up. So I guess today, April 12th of that season of 2024, he was batting 270 and had a 780 OPS at that point in the season. Gino did. So
Yeah.
we started to complain about Gino once we got, after that you start to see everything start to go down. So it started like the conversation around Gino started, closer to May rather than early April. And right now it's just there's nothing that you're seeing from Arenado where you're like, oh, he's gonna come out of this. There's no hard hits. The little bloop that he got
Go
today
look
was
at
that
it.
was that
It's
Don't if you have a
a
weak
it's
lot.
stomach,
blue.
if you have a
It's
weak
all
stomach,
blue.
if you have a weak stomach, don't look at it. Like, but
I mean,
if,
even
It's so bad.
I mean, the hit that he got today came up was at 80 miles an hour, and it only went like 220 feet or something like that. Like
oh, the
he has
second
not,
fly.
yeah. Oh no,
Yeah.
the one hit that he got, he's a little
Single.
like bloop
Yeah,
that he
Oh,
he
got,
had
that's right.
a
That's right. That's right.
single.
I forgot about that.
He
Yeah, that was
singled
so
like
the
the
air.
the double or whatever.
and even his fly out too was under 90 miles an hour. It came out to about like at 88. So he's just until he hits something over 90, 90 miles an hour and over 300 feet, then I'll finally feel like, okay, he might come out of this. Because right now, everything is 200 and 80 miles an hour off the bat.
Yeah, it'd definitely be a different conversation if he was, we mentioned it before. If he was still playing that, Gold Glove, Platinum Glove type defense, yeah. But I mean, and it's not like he's
It's too
playing
rare.
like horrible this year at third. I mean, he's still playing really solid. Made some solid plays that I don't think Gino would have made, or maybe Blaze. I know he made the one for the Orioles, but again, I still don't think that he's that bad at defense. But it's not to the point where his defense is making up for his extreme lack of offense. But yeah, man, just great calls from Lavello in this game. Love to see that, kind of aggressiveness. I think he's learned from the last 2 years in 24 and even 25 that these games, as Gabe said, you can't lose or you can't win a division in April, but you sure as can hell lose a division or even a wild card spot in any of these games where he knows that hey, it's the Phillies. They're still a solid team. This could be a team that we could be fighting with a wild card spot for. This is a 1-run game. I'm not taking a chance. Like we're fucking going for it. Like we're going for the win because this could be a difference maker in playoff differences here when we get to September. So huge shout out to Torey Lavello and just making those kind of decisions, being a little bit more aggressive and a little more proactive with his in-game management. And as I said, definitely have criticized him in the past, but I think it's equally deserving that we praise him when praise is due. But Brandon, passing on to you, are you kind of in the same boat that this is just really really great managing overall? I know even Scott Mack was saying in the comments here earlier. That Lavello managed like a genius today, and I fully agree. Like, are you in the same boat as us here, or are you in the I guess more on the glass half empty side of, hey, glad it took you 10 years to finally learn how to in game manage and pull the right levers.
I'm glad that he managed this game like we were in September and not April. I think that was the big thing that stood out to me. It's like he managed this game like we needed this game, which I'm hoping he's gonna. Maybe he's starting to feel the heat. Maybe Ken Kendrick kind of told him like, we cannot get off to a slow start. So you need to manage this game like your job depends on it, which it does. So I was shocked that he pinch hit for Nolan Arenado. I was surprised. And then when he pinch hit for Tawa with ADC, I'm like, wait a second, who's playing left field? I was like,
Wasn't it Vargas?
It was Vargas.
I think
I'm
God
like,
nothing was hit to him.
he'll play anywhere because you got it. I don't know if he'll start Vargas in left field for a whole game, but covering a couple innings there, I think he was fine with it. Probably because Vargas told him that he can play there in left field if needed to in a pinch, and it worked out because Cattell drew the walk. ADC got the big go-ahead RBI single. Like, he had a great series. Like, his first couple games, ADC wasn't hitting that great. I was like, oh. But then I had to remind myself. I'm like, well, he didn't really have spring training, so this is his spring training. So I got to give him at least 100 at bats, and I'm glad I did because he's really turned it around recently. Had that big hit in the Mets series when he challenged that strike three call. Thank you, ABS. We didn't have that. I'm pretty sure we lose that game. Did we?
We already did. We already lost anyway. We wouldn't have come back though. We would have lost like 3-1, whatever it was.
Okay. But no, It is funny. It only took him 10 years to be very proactive in the way that he manages games. Maybe he got tired of the bullpen blowups from last year too. Maybe he's like, maybe I just need to manage differently going forward. So hopefully we see him do this more. Like make these bold decisions. I don't know if anyone would have clowned him for it if it didn't work out. I think it's he at least he can see Nolan is not hitting at all right now. So he was being proactive. He's like, I have the best second baseman. I know I told you I'd give you a day off. You're getting 3/4 of a day off because I need your bat right now.
He didn't really have to swing, and he didn't really have to do much running, so he still pretty much got a day off. Like I know he
Yeah.
played the field for a little bit, but yeah,
I
so
mean, he
it's,
made the biggest defensive play of the game on that pop up there by Adolis Garcia that turned that double play by Ryan Thompson. Like
yeah,
that
dude.
was huge.
Go
That
look at
was
the
huge.
go look up on YouTube. One of the first highlights out there. I think it's for like the ESPN. Like it's I don't know if it's House of Highlights, whatever it is, but they pretty much use the Phillies broadcast for all the replays. Dude, hearing the disgust in John Kruk's voice during that play, like the
Oh my
second he was gone,
god.
you hear both of them like, "You got to get back. You got to get back. What are you doing? You got to get back." Like their disgust in that double play sometimes is absolutely just hilarious. And even listening to that, I'm like, I know Steve and Bob have their issues, but they're not as homerish as fucking Kruk
Josh
is, dude.
Colmentor. I
Dude, Josh
loved
Colemanter
him
is a
on.
fantastic
Oh, he was
broadcaster.
so great on this road trip.
Yeah,
So great with Steve.
I love Colemanter.
Like
One
I
of my
don't
favorites.
hate Steve. I hate him with Bob.
They can be very old man, get off my lawn. It's almost like John Smoltz split into two people, like, and then they just
But
have
like Steve with other people or Chris with Bob is not that bad because
Chris is
he
great no
keeps
matter
him in
what.
check.
Yeah.
Yes, Chris is fantastic. I love Chris. I love when they let him do the TV games every once in a while.
Oh, did Johnny's saying that he heard Perdomo played it off? So maybe Perdomo deked him. Maybe Perdomo said something like, "Oh,
Oh,
it's a foul
that
ball." Maybe he told him it was a foul ball, which
Yeah,
is
I'd have to look in, but maybe he could have just done like the same, like the pretend to like tag him or something like that, keep him off. I'd have to look at the actual play itself, but maybe that's what it was.
hey, if so, at least Perdomo's, I mean, he's still there in the field. The bat will come around, but those are the kind of things that he can provide to the team that you maybe not think of here and there. But one more thing I know I already said that I would we touch on here a little bit. I know our man Bryce was asking for the love here. So Bryce, the love is
so
here.
Perdomo just is pointing at first base, so he doesn't go to cover second base. I
So
just watched the clip.
maybe
of
Marsh is
the,
just horrible base running. Maybe that's what it was. Just Marsh had just horrible base running either way. But yeah,
yeah, he's basically telling Cattell, throw it to first, throw it to first.
Yeah. So that was just a big play in general, and that I mean that was a big momentum. I mean the Phillies, you could feel the momentum getting ready. I mean the strikeout again for Evan Ginkel. I know he put them in the situation, but that was a huge strikeout for Stott. Glad to see him at least get a little bit of positiveness out there. And then Ryan Thompson, been again another one in the past has struggled, but this year he's off to a really solid start, and that's the kind of stuff that I think last year doesn't go the D-backs way, and this year it's nice and refreshing to see it actually go this team's way for once and lead to a big win. But a part of that again been brought up a couple times here. I know. Again, I think there's genuine reasons to be on either side of the debate for Paul Sewald or either side of the aisle on, this guy still is throwing 92 mile an hours and sweepers, 92 mile an hour fastballs and sweepers right down the dick of the plate. He's getting lucky in a sense. I mean, hitters are still hitting it hard, just right out guys, or they're just, missing. But, even as Red Sox Nation, as even in our Discord, hey, like, did he get the save? A save is a save, which is very fair. Like, sometimes, like even Ryan Nelson, he'll throw his. I know a 98 is different than a 92, but hey, 98 down the middle, these are still major league hitters. If it gets the out, it gets the out. That's all that matters at the end of the day. They get their job done, and that's what he's been doing. Even Bryce's bringing up in the comments here, give some Paul Sewald love. 46% chase rate and a 35%
I
K
had to
rate,
look it up. I'm
which
like,
is
there's no way.
this
There's
is
no
disgusting.
way. No, he's right.
Yeah, that's disgusting. So definitely some props to Paul Sewald and the way he has performed this year. Again, still a little bit early, and it's still some concerning, especially the location and all that. But again, getting the job done so far, as long as it's in a safe situation, which leads into my final question here in regards to this series is how many more saves and outings like this from Mr. Paul Sewald will it take for you to fully trust him again. And maybe not the trust of like, the Padre fans have with Mason Miller, like the best closer in the sport, where it's like the dude goes out there, it's like, yeah, he's gonna strike everybody out, he's gonna throw strikes, fucking 1, 2, 3, don't even worry about it, the game's over. Just enough to where you're not sitting there watching every pitch on the edge of your seat, like, okay, is this gonna be it? Is this gonna be the 400-foot blast? Is this where gonna be things unravel?
I think for me, it's all going to come down to what he does when location wise. Like, well, just quickly, I went back to look at the play with Brandon Marsh. He tried to steal twice. I think once early on, it was Adolis Garcia's fault. Like he swang at at a
Oh, he
pitch
had it
that
stolen easily.
yeah twice. He had two. He had it stolen twice, and the second time he had it easy stolen. So that one was on Adolis. He had a 2-0 count. He swang at a whatever it was, sinker, whatever it was. Like, but Brandon Marsh had that one stolen easily, but he fouled it off, and then the second one too. So it was on Adolis, just either not picking up the signs at all or whatever. It's just a miscommunication. But when it comes to Seawald, it's just all about location for me. Like, who is he facing, and what's the count here? Like he was facing, I think there was 7, 8, 9 guys who are really bad right now. I mean, I think the only one who's okay it might be Marsh.
Crawford's been
Yeah,
pretty well so far.
Crawford's pretty good. He's been the only one who's been okay this season. But Rafael Martin, he's been terrible. And Alec Boehm has been really bad at the season as well. So, in the first at bat with Boehm, he had two. He had the fastball and the sweeper just straight down the middle. Like, go look it up on game day. Those two pitches were literally straight down the middle, and he just kind of got lucky with that. Alec Boehm was not hitting too well. Martian, that's the only one that was just a really high pitch, and he's swinging at that one. And same thing with Crawford. He had 3 pitches that were in the middle or just about in the middle. So you can't say he's necessarily getting lucky every single time, but he is getting a little lucky. Placing a 93-mile-per-hour fastball straight down the middle or 83-mile-per-hour sweeper straight down the middle. Like, he's been getting away with some of these, and the times that he hasn't gotten away with it is when he's gotten hit really hard, like against the Braves or even the Mets. He just left stuff down the middle, and I think that's kind of the issue, is just his location. Like, the days that he doesn't have his location, that's when he really struggles. Like, the other save that he got, you can see where McCann was setting up, or I think it was McCann or Gabby was setting up. They were asking for way up in the zone, and he was leaving stuff straight down the middle, and he just kind of got away with it. Was it Friday, I think, from that save? Look at where those pitches were on Friday. Like, the Phillies were
He
just
almost
missing
gave
it.
up the game time.
Oh, and then also that
to Crawford. He missed it by like 6 inches.
yeah,
And that
those
wasn't
were
even a bad pitch
inches.
too. Like that was his best pitch of his like last 2 outings. That was just a good swing from Crawford. Like
Yeah,
that was a sweeper like 4 or 5 inches below the knees, I think.
yeah. But again, when he goes that slow and the guy reads it right away, then it kind of just doesn't matter where you place it. But I think that's what it is for me. It's just the location, the fact that he just throws stuff down the middle way too much. And like I said earlier about this being a blessing in disguise when they're playing these teams, because coming down to August, I don't think these guys are making the same mistakes again.
Yes, we talked about it before a show. If that's against the Harpers, the Schwarbers, of even Trey Turners of that Phillies lineup, I think we're looking at a walk off there in Philadelphia. But you know what? Again, it's one of those where I don't want to fully come off a hater. I will still have my doubts. I will still, it's one of those where I've been hurt in the past. I'm not going to fully let myself be opened up, but I am open to change. I am open up to mending the bridges and rebuilding the bridges that were rebuilt. But even I'm kind of on the same page here as Bryce in the chat saying I don't know if I can ever start trusting him after his week in 2024 summer, and that's kind of where I think a lot of our distrust stems from. Just seeing him just blow like the 5 saves in like his 5 straight opportunities there.
Because at that point he had 11 straight saves, and he blew like 4 or 5 in a row. Like, he has 5 for 5 right now. When like so, until he goes, he blows one, then he like saves 3 or 4 in a row. Like, it's really hard to trust him, knowing that he's capable of losing like a whole bunch in a row suddenly.
Yeah, but if he can keep up this velocity and keep up again the performing the way he is in save situations, I will be very happy to eat crow and be like, hey, you know what? this Paul Sewald signing wasn't doom and gloom. This has been a great signing, great pickup. Glad to have Paul. I mean, the dude's a great person too. Like I have nothing against Paul Sewald, the actual person. Seems like from what I've heard and seen, dude's a great person, great in the community. Like I truly love him as a person. Just sometimes as a pitcher, I'm like, definitely makes it, definitely clench a little bit tighter. I could definitely make a few diamonds back there, whenever he's on the bump there. But Brandon, going on you, my friend. I guess the same question to you is: how many more outings like this, whether saves or even if he gets in a non-save outing and actually gets a nice 1-2-3, just shut down and keeps them in the ball game, keeps the score tied. How many more outings like this will it take for you to fully trust Paul Sewald once again and not have your throat in knots and ready to just puke watching him throw meatballs down the middle?
I never will. I'm sorry. You can call me a hater all you want. I'm never going to trust Paul Sewald, and it's mainly because of that fastball.
Yep.
It's not fat. He doesn't have closers. He throws 2 pitches, fastball and a sweeper. And a lot of the times his sweeper sweeps, like a lot of times with Brandon Pfaadt, sweeps right into the middle of the strike zone. And when his sweeper is like 89, his fastball is like 91, 92, it's going to get demolished. I just think he's gotten lucky. I don't know how you guys feel about this. I kind of need him to have a blown save soon, because the longer he goes, the more my anxiety is going to get bad, because I'm like,
Nah, I don't ever want them to have a blown save, but I mean, I
know it's going to happen because he's not Mason Miller. Is what I'm saying. It's like
every pitcher has a blown save here and there.
I know. Have you seen Mason Miller pitch this year?
Okay, Mason Miller is the outlier, but every other pitcher, usually I'd say 95 to 99% of the other closers in the league. I mean, even Aroldis Chapman's already had his blown save this year. They're usually gonna have at least 1 or 2 blown saves every season. Yeah. It's just inevitable.
Yeah. So like I know it's coming, and like every outing that he comes in for a save, I'm like, this is probably going to be it. He's going to break my heart because of that summer in 24. Like, that week in 24 is what has me scarred. Like, he legit could go for, like, a 20 streak. Like, we could be June 1st, June 15th, and he doesn't have a blown save, and I'm still going to feel this way because of how bad that week was when he faced the Dodgers and the Padres. Had, like, 4 blown saves in the span of a week? It was so bad.
Like the Dodgers, the Padres, the Braves, all 3 straight opportunities in like a 4 or 5 day span. It's just brutal.
Again, for what we have right now, he's fine. He's getting the job done in save situations. He's perfect. He's 5 for 5. It's the non-save situations is what has not worked out for him. The one against the Braves, and then the Mets outing, where he came in the 10th inning. So, I like, as long as he continues to get the job done, I don't care how he does it. If he gives up, because go look at his baseball savant page. His ground ball rate is like the one percentile. It's
he's just fly
doesn't
ball.
Give up ground balls.
He's a
he
fly
just
ball.
Doesn't give up.
He's always been a fly ball pitcher, though.
Yeah.
I mentioned it in the last podcast. He has one ground ball out. Even in this game, he gave 2 strikeouts and a pop up or fly out, whatever it was.
I think so, fly out, yeah.
Yeah. So 1 ground out.
Now his sweeper to strike out Crawford was a beautiful pitch.
That was
today.
that was a dot. That was a
clip the corner. Crawford. I mean, you have one challenge. You might as well use it. So, but no, that's where you throw the sweeper on the corners.
Yep.
Maybe you should talk to Erod to figure out how to pitch on the corners, because that's where Paul Sewald should be pitching. Is on the corners. With
God, could you imagine telling us in the past, like even 4 months ago, Paul Sewald's going to be trying to, locking down saves and saying that he should hit up Eduardo Rodriguez for command issues. I think we would all tell each other, like, all right, man, whatever you're drinking, whatever kind of whiskey, whatever fucking, acid you're taking,
alcohol.
like,
it's hard drugs.
Stephen A, stay off the weed.
Yeah, dude. I think you tell any of us, even a couple of months ago, that this would be the case. I think we would be like, are you in MLB The Show? Did you turn the sliders? Are you playing on MLB The Show Rookie with like 4 trades off? Are you quitting before? Like when I was young, I did an MLB The Show where I'm playing a franchise game as a D-backs. I give up a 2-run bomb. I quickly just dashboard, close the game out. And I'm like, the home run never happened. Let me just restart that game really quick. Like that's the only scenario I could see that happening if you would have told me this 5 months ago. But it is a welcome change. For me personally, I mean, I think what I'll truly start to trust Paul is if he gets a saves against the Dodgers in like the big part of their lineup. If he can get a save, like that'll be again whether he blows a save before, but if he can get a save against like facing off against like Otani, Seawald, Betts, or Otani, Seawald, Smith, even Muncy, like that, that's when I'll be like, all right, you know what, Paul. Respect. I'm not going to be as stressed as I am before, but until he goes up against the meaty part of a lineup and a save, like a really truly potent offense, in a 1-run, 2-run, whatever it is, like that's when I'm gonna kind of still hold my breath. But once that happens, that's when I'll be like, all right, you know what, I can ease up a little bit. I have a little more trust. But I think us as D-backs fans in general, no, our bullpen, we could literally have the best bullpen in the sport, and we will all be traumatized to just expect we could have Mason Miller, and I think all of us would be like, okay, when's he gonna blow the game? When is it gonna happen? He's got a D-back
That's
uniform
just
on.
being an Arizona sports fan.
Just being an Arizona sports fan, but God, could you imagine Mason Miller with Justin Martinez in this bullpen? Oh my goodness, dude, I think Costco's across the state would sell out of underwear. But yeah, say overall, just a great series. Any other final thoughts on the series in general before we get into our quick series preview and then bounce?
No, I mean, you just always like seeing series wins. I mean, they probably could have had this sweep at some point, but you're just happy with the fact that they're able to get the series win, get a couple games over 500, and just keep the line moving, just keep winning these series. Hopefully they're able to get a couple of more sweeps in there before the end of this month once they face, the quote unquote lesser teams coming up.
Yeah, definitely. Just positive in general, and hopefully we can get through the rest of this chunk of this tough schedule and get into May and beyond with a lot of momentum as we especially get some more guys back like Lawler, Moreno, and then even once we get into June and July and we get more guys like Seawald or Puck and Burns back. That'll be absolutely huge. But Brandon, any final thoughts on this series before we get into our quick preview?
No, I think we covered everything pretty well. Just Jose Fernandez needs to play it every day.
Yes. Hopefully you guys, as I said earlier, hopefully you guys bought your Jose Fernandez cards before the spike, because my God, I bought this one 2 days before his debut. I bought this one after his first home run, and then this one after his second home run, and the market has not come down at all. And who knows? I know we won't get a draft pick because he wasn't a top 100 rated prospect, but rookie of the year, the way he's playing, rookie of the year. I'm just saying. There's not really any other players in the NL. I know Connor Griffin's probably gonna be one of the favorites, but I haven't checked his numbers. I don't think he's playing at the level that Jose Fernandez
He's getting
is.
very unlucky.
Yeah, but hey, for right now, I'll take it. I'm gonna start the campaign. Jose Fernandez for rookie of the year. Book it. I want it to be where next time I go to the D-backs game against the Blue Jays, I can walk into Team Shop and buy myself a Jose Fernandez jersey, or at least a T-shirt. I'll do it. I will do it, especially if he plays the way he is. You gotta say, hey, there you go. Kyle Dannon got a City Connectors. Did you have to get it custom made, or did they already have it ready on the wall? Because if they had it ready on the wall, D-backs, the way to my heart and my wallet, and I'll don't tell my wife I might go buy another jersey. I'm just kidding. I won't do that. Maybe I will. I don't know. I'll have to decide. But yeah, so moving on into our quick series preview here. As the D-backs now stay on the East Coast there, they travel up to Baltimore to face the good old Birdies in the Baltimore Orioles. Get to see a former D-back, Blaze Alexander, in the series. Ryan Nelson's taking the bump there in tomorrow night's Game 1. He is 2-0 on the season with a 4.20 ERA. So heck yeah, blaze it, Ryan. The Orioles do not have a set starter yet there, so that's to be decided. Game 2 on Tuesday, we're going to see the 2026 debut for our man, the mainstay, Merrill Kelly, as he is slotted in to make his start there. Obviously, nothing on the board yet, so 0.00 ERA. Going up against the Orioles ace there, Trevor Rogers. The dude has been nails the last year and a half. That dude is like a Cy Young caliber, putting up some insane numbers, 2-0 with 1.89 ERA, so that'll be a pretty tough matchup there for this offense, but hopefully we can get some more, magic there and just play some more D-backs sound fundamental ball. And then then on Wednesday, our so far best pitcher on the staff this year, good old Erod, 1-0 with a .5 ERA. Insane. Pinch me? Are you kidding me? what 3-4 starts in the season. He has a .5 ERA. What fucking timeline are we in? Very happy about it though. He's going to be going up against good old Kyle Bradish. For if what I remember, has a really nice sweeper. Bradish numbers and ERA wise not looking the greatest, but I know he's got some solid stuff. So I think that'll be another game that'll be that can be potentially pretty tough. I mean, fuck, we put up 2 runs against a 9 ERA Taiwan Walker, so I'm not going to let ERA fool me anymore. But he is 1-2 with a 5.27 ERA. So looking at the probables that we have here in the series. And then obviously whether it's the return of mainstay, whether it's seeing another outing from Ryan and Erod, what are you going to be looking forward to? What's maybe some things that you want other fans to kind of keep an eye out on in the series as we head to Baltimore, and then maybe a prediction or two that you have for this three gamer there.
Just that the pitchers have to be on their game for this one because the Orioles are starting to catch fire and starting to run on all cylinders the way a lot of these other teams just haven't. So this is going to be, I think, the first, other than the Dodgers series, the first real offensive test that this team is going to have to go through. The middle of the lineup is, a little lean right now, but for the most part, they have a lot of guys with 8 to 900 OPSs right now. So this isn't, the Tigers, and this isn't, Philadelphia. Like these boys come out to play right now, and so the pitching staff has to be, as good to perfect as they can be. And then the offense wise, again, they got to show up. I want to see the best 9 guys out there. I can't, it's hard to put up with the fact that, Arenado's getting everyday play. It is what it is right now, but the second you get a chance to take him out, I think you just kind of have to until he proves otherwise. So I think for me, the series can go either way. Just like these other ones, it's a flip of a coin how this one's going to go. Like the pitching is going to be good enough that they stifle the Orioles offense, or maybe the small ball might help them. Like I know they've committed some errors. They've had some weird plays in the infield. Like their infield defense has been a little spotty this season. So maybe putting the pressure on them, maybe that's going to be the key. So look out for that. Maybe see guys stealing a little bit more, trying to take an extra base, forcing the Orioles to make mistakes.
Yes, they definitely need to be on their game there because the Orioles they're not the Orioles of last year. They're definitely a much better squad there, but it's just that's kind of another ballpark that I know we don't play there as often. Thankfully, with the new schedule, we play them every year, but we alternate going there. So we haven't played there since 24. But I do remember in 24, even Ryan Nelson, I think he got touched up a little bit against that team. Which even in 24, they were a playoff team. They were a better team than they were even last year and this year. But I mean, they're still a really solid squad. Gunnar Henderson's been mashing the ball lately, so I think we got to look out for him in that lineup.
Taylor Ward.
Yeah, Taylor Ward's been a great
doubles
acquisition.
machine right now.
It's been a great acquisition for them. I mean, you always got to look out for big meat Pete there in the lineup. So just limit the damage, especially Ryan Nelson's fastball against guys like Gunnar and Pete. I think there's going to be one of the big things I'm looking out for. Obviously, he's got a great fastball, but those are some pretty good, at least from what I remember, some pretty good fastball hitters there. So that'll be the thing I'm looking out for the most. And then also, again, I still love Blaze Alexander, still miss him. So it'll be weird seeing him in the orange and black, but excited to see them match up against good old Blaze again and see how our pitching staff kind of handles a former D-back there. Maybe that might know their stuff here and there. But Brandon, same thing to you. Looking at the probables that we have here lined up there, I know it's only 2 of the 3 for the Orioles that are listed. But what are your thoughts? Maybe something that you want fans to kind of look out for here, whether it's something that Gabe already mentioned, maybe something else that neither of us have mentioned, and then maybe like a prediction or two that you have here for this 3-gamer.
I just hope people don't say, "Oh, we made a bad move trading Blaze." He has a 556 OPS, so he is exactly who we all thought he was. I thought he was always a 650 sub OPS player. I didn't he's a super utility player. He's great. He wouldn't be if we had Blaze, we wouldn't be seeing Jose Fernandez right now. That's how I feel. I truly feel we wouldn't be. Also, be prepared. Corbin's going to miss one of these games. Torrey said he's going to give him an off day in Baltimore. So, Corbin will miss one of these games.
Hope it's not against Rogers. Hope it's not against Rogers.
It probably is going to be against Rogers.
He's been hitting lefties good this year, though. That's the one thing about, platoons, man. These guys, I get if it's Alec Thomas, to a certain degree, but at the same time, these guys aren't going to hit lefties if you never let them hit lefties.
They're never going to have a shot. Adley Rushman got placed on the 10-day IL yesterday, so we won't have to face him.
Dude, what a fall-off he's had. Basayo's going to be dangerous. Dude, Basayo's a monster.
Yeah. What is his OPS, Messiah? He is at 561 right now. So,
Oh,
um,
he's not having a great year then.
like they really only have two guys above 900. Everyone else is sub 750 with OPS. It's Gunnar Henderson and Taylor Ward. So if we can shut those two guys down, then I think we have a really good shot. And as long as the bullpen continues um, to pitch how it's been pitching, just keep getting the job done. Like that's what's been so great to see is we haven't really had a blow up. Like yes, Taylor Clark had a blow up game one against the Dodgers. He's pitched very well since then. Um, this bullpen has been like I am honestly surprised by how well this bullpen has been this season so far, and I'm really enjoying it, and I want it to continue for as long as we can, or until at least we get AJ Puck, then we can have someone back there that I feel comfortable with, because I know this isn't going to continue all season long, but I want it to continue for as long as we can. Um, I I'm kind of hoping Taylor Clark is like Shelby Miller from last year, just always gets the job done. Like next thing we see, he has like 10, 12, 13 scoreless outings. Prediction, I don't do those because I always are way off on them. Like I don't like I tried to do it with Perdomo in the Mets series. It didn't work out. I also said we'd lose this Philly series just because I thought the pitching matchups favored Philly a little bit more. I was wrong about that, so I don't know if I should make a series prediction. So yeah, and as Corbin Barrow says, Jackson Holiday, same injury as Corbin, by the way, is not back yet. But they're probably slow rolling him back because they don't need him as much as we needed Corbin.
And even like Mets fans, I saw a couple Mets fans. It was funny. They were in their just we were talking about the same injury. They were bringing up Francisco Lindor struggles, and someone's like, "Oh, he just had a hamate bone," and then someone just posted Corbin Carroll's stats, and they're like, "Same fucking injury, same fucking time frame."
He's fourth in OPS in the National League.
He's not elite though. He's not elite. We got to open our eyes and realize he's not elite. Okay, he's not elite. We got to wake up to realize that he's average. You know, this he's not good. Okay, guys, he's not elite.
He's only a
Stop glazing him like he's an elite player.
250 batting average player. He's not good.
Sorry, I was still. That's been rent free in my head the last like week or two. I mean, it still
Yeah.
just baffles me that was an actual take that somebody had. Which is, hey, we're all open for different takes here. That's the beautiful thing about sports. But yeah, it's definitely gonna be a series, a lot to look out for. Some big names in the Orioles lineup to watch out for. And again, even looking at the numbers, I know that even like the D-backs where some of these guys might not have hitting well, like Pasayo, but Houston's got some pop. I know even like Bryce saying here, Blaze is 100th percentile in expected batting average, which is insane. So he's just kind of seen some unlucky ball or like batting average or unlucky ball and play luck so far. But you know, it's definitely gonna be a series that I truly think that this team can take two or three. And if they play well, they truly play D-backs baseball. And obviously, if a few bounces and a few calls go their way here and there, I think that this could be a sweep of the season. It could be our second sweep of the year, and definitely be one of those that we look into. But yeah, Kyle, and 2 episodes ago in our series preview or series review of the Braves series, one of the guys in our chat was saying that we need to stop calling Corbin Carroll elite, that we need to wake up or open our eyes that he's average, and he's his career batting average.
It was later in the stream if you want.
Yeah, if you want to go back, you can rewatch it and look at the live chat. There, it was later in the stream. It was definitely an interesting take. Is the nicest way I will put it there. But you know what? We've all been wrong before. I remember a couple years ago somebody said that Max Kepler would be a better player than Aaron Judge, and boy oh boy has that aged like fucking milk left out in the sun during the Arizona summer. But Either way, I truly appreciate you guys all tuning in here. It's been a fantastic episode, a little bit longer, but when the conversations are flowing like this, it's always fun to get a little bit longer and have you guys join on in here, because we always like to have you guys join on in and get your thoughts and opinions and all that fun stuff. Getting on in here for the pod, because that is the best time. We're always trying to get you guys involved in general. It's not just us here. You guys are always welcome to give your thoughts, whether it's here or in the Discord, which again is free. Check the link in the description on our pinned tweet on Twitter, wherever you find us. Make sure you are in the Discord if you're not already in there. Again, it's absolutely free. If you have somebody else that's a D-backs fan that you think would enjoy it, that's also not in the Discord, send them the link, have them hop in there. Make sure you guys also follow us on all socials. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Twitter especially. That's the best place to be following us over there. We're probably going to be doing a little giveaway here soon too. Probably going to be I have a couple things I've been lining up trying to do a giveaway. I haven't done a giveaway in a minute. I like doing giveaways to kind of get back to you guys. Some of our OGs that kind of helped. I mean, the fact that we've been doing this for a little over 2.5, almost 3 years now is absolutely insane. So we always like to get back to you guys as much as possible. So again, the best place to look out for that is on Twitter. And then as always, go over to azsnakepit.com. Check out all the articles over there every single day. Multiple articles every day, article recaps, article about like certain players, previews, all that fun stuff. That is the best place to get any kind of D-backs written content. Just a great community of writers over there, and that is the best place I can recommend you going to. Especially our man Joshua does a lot of great write-ups. So if you guys want a little bit more dispatch in your life, but on the written side of things, that is the place that he posts his articles. Especially, as I said earlier, he did a great article on the lore behind this Luis Gonzalez card, that if you can see the rubber rat above his jersey in the locker, what that's about, and how our beloved Gonzo is a little bit more of a prankster that I think a lot of us knew of. But again, azsnakepit.com is the place to be for that. The place to be for any of these series reviews is here on D-backs Dispatch, and we will see you guys on the next episode. In the meantime, y'all take it easy. Happy Sunday night. Catch you later.
Under the lights, the game goes down. Desert heat, but we own this town. Brennan gave on the call with Josh in the back, bringing it on.